Thank you and good morning. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report. Sunday's podcast, week 14. The Kansas City Chiefs will get a crack at the noon game for only the second time this year, and it'll be the last time this year they play at Sunday at noon. The Chiefs are likely going to have to do something with the left tackle because DJ Humphries got hurt after he just signed 2 weeks ago. Now we'll be on to what will they do with the left tackle. Well, the expected thing is they'll do Wanya Morris and then maybe Joe Thuney sub in and out. Will Mike Caliendo go to guard? We will see. I think you have to give one of those a shot. I would probably give Thuney a shot at left tackle, but they may not do that. Chiefs signed Steven Nelson to a cornerback. He is signed to the practice squad. Also, Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker should be back as the Chiefs cut Matthew Wright. He's been on the transaction list as he's not been able to find a team for very long. Steven Nelson is happy that Mahomes will be on the sideline if he plays in any other Chiefs games. The Chiefs have lost starter Justin Watson and lost last year's cornerback L'Jarius Sneed and lost some other corners this season. Chiefs will play the Browns. Quarterbacks to watch out for: Patrick Mahomes on the Chiefs side, Isaiah Pacheco at running back, and also Kareem Hunt at running back. DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver, Travis Kelce at tight end, and Noah Gray at tight end as well. Defensive players to watch out for: Chris Jones and Trent McDuffie, who has been good at corner, but has been less than great when he's on the other side or when he has to provide support for other players. But McDuffie doesn't want to play out of position in order for the Chiefs to win. Chiefs need to force more turnovers. The Chiefs beat the Chargers last week and hope to beat the Cleveland this week. The Cleveland did beat the Steelers earlier this year. The Browns aren't good, but have came up with some interesting wins. The Steelers beat the Browns last week in their second matchup. Quarterback Jameson Winston will be a player to watch out for the Browns. Also, running back Jerome Ford and was 944 yards, and wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. And Myles Garrett is a player to watch out for on the Browns for defense. The Chiefs are favored by 4, giving the Chiefs 27-20. Hopefully, eventually, they'll cover. The Chiefs are 12-1. Meanwhile, the Browns are 3-10. The Ravens and Giants, players to watch out for on the Ravens, the road team. The Ravens at Giants, players to watch out for: Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, defense Roquan Smith, and at the outside linebacker and safety Kyle Hamilton. For the Giants, it will be Tommy DeVito starting at quarterback as Drew Lock is out. Former Missouri Tugger, Tyron Tracy, running back, wide receiver Malik Neighbors, and Dexter Lawrence at defensive tackle. For the Giants, the Ravens have lost some games they shouldn't have lost, but they ain't going to lose this one, I don't think. 30-20 is my final score, where the Ravens are even favored by more than that. 14, kick is at noon. The Jets and Jaguars, we don't need to preview that. Kick is at 12, 3.5 is a line. Cowboys have won 3 in a row, but haven't had a good season. But they could keep Mike McCarthy. But that sounds like to me, Jerry Jones wants to only keep failing and only wants to be in the spotlight. Cowboys are favored by 3, kick is at noon. Commanders versus the Saints. We don't really need to preview that one. Jake Henry is likely to start for the Saints as David Carr is questionable. We're going to go over a little bit since the Commanders are pretty good, though. Alvin Kamara is expected to make the start. He leads with 938 yards, up close to 940 on the season. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is leading them in receiving yards, and that's a problem because Marquez Valdez-Scantling is not very good. Defensive tackle for watch out. Brian Breeze is on the Saints. The Commanders' key players, Jaden Daniels, Brian Robinson, wide receiver Trent McClain, defensive player Sheldon Ray. Kickoff is at noon. The Commanders are favored by 7. Give me the Commanders 28-20. We're not going to preview the Bengals and Titans. That game is not a great game. The Bengals are favored by 5. Kick is at noon. The Dolphins and Texans will play. We'll preview that game. The Dolphins haven't been very good this year. Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback, running back David Akers, wide receiver Tyreek Hill. Defensive player to watch out for on the Dolphins, linebacker Jordan Brooks. For the Texans, it's C.J. Stroud at quarterback, Joe Mixon at running back, Nico Collins at wide receiver, and Daniel Hunter is a defensive player to watch out for. He had 10.5 sacks, which is good for 4th in the league. Kick is at noon. The Lions will be the best game of the day. The Lions continue their success. The Lions got a good game last week against the Packers last Thursday. A week ago Thursday, Dan Campbell went forward on 4th down to make sure they win the game without the Packers possessing the ball, which they did. Tim Campbell made the difference last week. Can he make the difference again? Bills upset the Rams last week. Look for Lions players, quarterback Jared Goff, running back Josh Gibbs, wide receiver Emmanuel St. Brown, has over 1,000 yards, but has a great teammate, not complaining about not getting the ball. Listen to yesterday's podcast for teammates that aren't very good. He displays how to be a good teammate. Defensive player to watch out for the Lions is Brian Branch. Bills players to watch out for: quarterback Josh Allen, MVP favorite so far, Saquon Barkley, running back James Cook, wide receiver Khalil Shakir. Defensive player DN Greg Rosen is a player to watch out for in the Bills and Lions game. Kick is at 3:25. The Pats and Cardinals, we don't need to preview much of that. The Cardinals are favored by 6. Kick is at 3:25. The Chargers will play the Buccaneers. Players to watch out for: my guess is Justin Herbert will play. Otherwise, it's on a veteran quarterback Taylor Heineke. He is questionable. Former Commander is Tyler Heineke starter. Running back Gus Edwards. Lad McCoy missed last week. We'll see if it's Quentin Johnson today. Defensive player to watch out for: Joey Bosa. The Buccaneers are favored by 3. Kick is at 3:25. Sunday night, Packers at Seahawks. So the Packers are 9-4. The Seahawks are 8-5. Doesn't look like they'll be fighting for much, as the Lions have only 1 loss. The Vikings have 2, and the Packers have 4. But the Seahawks lead their division. The Seahawks have won 4 in a row. Players to watch out for: quarterback Geno Smith, who is 3rd in INTs and continues to have troubles of INTs. Running back Zach Carbonet and Jackson Smith, who has 911 yards, good for 6th in the league. Leonard Williams is a player to watch out for on the Seahawks defense. For players to watch out for on the Packers: quarterback Jordan Love, running back Josh Jacobs, wide receiver Jalen Reed, Defensive players to watch out for: Xavier McKinney, safety, Packers, and leads the league in interceptions with 7. Kick is at 7:20. Yesterday in basketball, the Jayhawks top North Carolina State 75-60. Missouri beats Long Island 88-61. And that's Sam Vaughn Sports.